Today I'm going to be showcasing an e-bike. It is the LanKeleisi XF4000. Now that is a hardtail mountain bike e-bike that has a 1,000-watt rear hub motor. But before I get crazy and deep dive into all the specs, first I'm going to give you an up-close look at this bike. We're going to deep dive into all the components on there, and then we'll take it out for a spin, and then as always, we'll come back and talk about it. Folks, it doesn't get any better than this. E-bikes, you're here with me. The video starts now. Let's talk about some of the components on this bike. First off, you're going to want to know what the motor is. So let's talk about it. It is a 1,000-watt rear hub motor, and that is a Hall brushless motor, and you can get a max speed of 30 miles an hour out of that. So it'll haul, especially on trails. That's fast. It will go up to 74 miles depending on the conditions. If there's a lot of hills and how much you're using the assist. On just pure electric, you're looking at, and this is factory claim, about 50 miles with that. That's not bad at all. I rode it a couple times up in the mountains all day long and had no problem with it. And I purposely didn't pedal it because I wanted to see how the battery and the motor would hold up, and it did a great job. The battery pack is a 48 volt, 16 amp hour Panasonic lithium battery, and the charge time on that is roughly from 5 to 7 hours. You have multiple driving modes with this bike, and you have electric, which is all power. You have auxiliary bike, that is an assist where you're pedaling, and then you have the regular bike where that's no power, you're just pedaling the bike on your own. The bike has an LCD computer display that is mounted to the handlebars. That's 3.5 inches long, so you get a pretty good view of what's going on, and you can check the miles per hour, the distance, the mode of operation, and the battery life. The frame of the bike is made out of 6061 aluminum. You have a front fork with 4 inches of travel that has a lockout, and it is a oil spring fork. And then you have a rear rack on the bike. The bike net weight weighs 75 pounds, and the carry weight of this bike, I was pretty surprised, is 396.8 pounds. So if you're doing bicycle tours, if you're looking to explore the backcountry and you're bringing camping gear with you and such, well, you can feel at ease knowing that this bike is going to be able to carry a pretty robust load. Let's talk about the wheels and tires next. 26-inch wheels, 4.0 tires on there. I found that they work really great up there on the fire roads, on the dirt roads. They gripped really well to the trail. They worked really nice. And I could see them being really efficient on bike trails and asphalt roads. It just made it really comfortable to ride. Now the shifting components on the bike and the derailleur are made by Shimano. Front shifter is a TX50 that is a 9-speed shift lever, and the rear derailleur is the TY300. I found that it shifted really smooth. It worked really great for the application that we're doing with this e-bike. I used to race a lot of bikes. I used to use XT and XTR and stuff on the mountain bikes, and this shifted just as smooth as the Shimano XTs that I used to use back in the day when I was mountain bike racing. So there was no problem at all indexing up a gear, indexing down a gear. Let's talk about the crankset on this bike. It uses a Pro Wheel aluminum alloy crankset, just a standard crankset. It has a 46 tooth chainring on there. That's pretty much standard on a lot of your off-road mountain bikes, and I think that pairing it up with that rear cassette that is a 1428 tooth is a nice combo pair on that, because with the weight of the bike and such, you're going to need a gear that's low enough to be able to get up over some of the hills in the event that you're just using manual power. So it has a big enough chainring front and back to be able to handle all your needs for the weight and size of this bike. This bike comes with manual disc brakes. Now, before you go crazy, oh, hydraulic brakes, da da da. I'm going to tell you, I used to race mountain bikes and I've run hydraulic disc brakes. And heaven forbid if you take your wheel off and that brake caliper isn't in that hub and you hit the brake lever, all of a sudden now you got issues. And a lot of times you have to bleed the lines and reset everything. With mechanical disc brakes, that eliminates all that muss and fuss. You just put it back on and it just resets right back to normal. So there's pros and cons. I'm not going to argue about them here. I like manual disc brakes. They've come a long way over the years, and that technology is involved. And for the size and the weight of this bike, those components worked really good. So my thoughts on the XF4000. One, I think the bike handled really good for the size and the weight in that 70-ish pound range. Now, those 4.0 tires, trust me, I'm an older guy. I really appreciate those 4.0 tires, especially on the fire roads. You're on bumpy dirt roads. Trust me, you're going to like that. 4 inches of travel with the front shock. You have a 9-speed shifter. You have the electric motor where you can go assist, partial assist, or no assist. It's just a nice combo. You have the Panasonic battery pack. You have a horn. You have a light on there. You have a bike rack. You're only limited by your imagination of what you can do with this bike. And you're in a price range that on a lot of e-bikes, you're getting a lot of value. If you want to learn more about the XF4000, I will leave links in the video description below. I'll also leave an Amazon link. And just so you guys know, I am not an Amazon affiliate. I make no money from doing this. I like sharing with you knowledge and I think value deals. I think this is a great value for the money, and it gets you in the e-bike game. So with that, folks, I thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I look forward to spending time with you in a video coming soon. And with that, folks, get out and use your gear. We'll see you soon.